basketball season for quite a few of us. True. But you know, be a little more careful. Grabbing those boards, you might hurt yourself as they try to take control of Hookah. And now they immediately, go back. BREN showing a little bit of aggression. They've been showing this since the beginning, since the first day, which was yesterday. You know, Kelly S doesn't get anything out of that nade because Nexy's just a little too quick on this Cypher pick, and on that Ghost, he takes their souls away. Now operating on a two-man deficit. Brain Freeze, Symbol, and Xavi, they have a long way to go from around victory. They get rid of as much utility as they can. That's going to signal RRQ on where most of these players are. Xavi has infiltrated the site, but is so low. Where did Draxi come from? And it's equalized.
Well, equalized maybe for RRQ, but BREN getting the short end of the stick, and RRQ just playing this perfectly. You mentioned how Nexy just looks so dominant in that particular interface, right? Or rather, that course of action, that little bit of interaction, I mean, on Bats. And I have to say, he has been really coming together once more for RRQ this past week too, right? And it has saved them more times than not. I think if there are some, like for BREN, it has to have been EJ, maybe even Brain Freeze that is the clutch artist. It's been Nexy for RRQ, and it's been such a delight to see him do that with a Sentinel agent. This makes you kind of hopeful that you don't gotta be a duelist, you know, to be a pop-off. Just be like Nexy. Sexy Nexy.
Duelist is not just a role, it is a mindset. No matter what you play, it's always about that courage. But of course, aside from that, we always talk about making the right play, making the right call. And Nexy has been one of those types of players, very, very reliable. As Rabbit does find Xavi, but it's going to take a considerable amount of damage. Will be stripped of his shields. And EJ has found himself a little corner to tuck himself in, but he's going to get peppered out. That's going to prod a reaction from him. He's jumping around. A lot of sound is being made, Dasarai. And BREN, they're still very interested in B.
They're setting their sights already. Activation on the hunt finds absolutely nobody, but they do know that is false bits of information, but BREN still want to go in on this. You gotta be careful. They've actually tuckered themselves into the site just slowly, but Draxi's holding the cross first. Takes the shot. And they're just gonna be fumbling down into a crossfire. RRQ have perfectly set up somehow, some way. Symbol still finds the 2K with the classic. Just a tiny bit of glimmer, but no hope will be found in that round. We go to the next.
This upward trajectory that RRQ have been going on has been really, really great. I saw quite a bit of noise or a little bit of talk about how they started slow in the first week, and then they looked much more impressive in the second, and now finally in the playoffs, even better. But again, it's hard to judge. It's only the first 2 rounds, but the way they've been handling it, the way they've been moving, it seems very, very refined. This is something that they've been cooking up in the R&D section of wherever it is. Now an aggressive play just to mix the pace up could potentially find somebody from BREN, but no, it's EJ who actually gets that shot onto Nexy. That's a Sentinel gone, and information, well, at least thrown away now. It looks like BREN, they continue their march. They know they have the superior weapons. They're going to be undeterred by any of the pushes here. A lot of the smokes have been set. Beautiful flash here, side of BREN. Counter flash inside of RRQ, but nobody seems to be able to capitalize. Xavi has been on fire as well as EJ, and this double duelist, a little bit of a throwback, still propelling them forward.
They'll be able to plant the spike on triple now as both Rabbit and Tuga will be rushing in through on short here. Slowly creeping up. They spotted EJ here, who actually still challenges the fight, and he's not going to miss the beat grab. Their shot, and EJ first 4K of the series. That's probably one of many. And we'll see how this goes. As again, that was just a bonus of RRQ, but BREN played perfectly for the flawless. This at least gives them a good amount of money and rebuying power to get back into things. So a quick little replay on that entry that we saw from EJ.
One enemy
Fantastic.
remaining.
Again, he's still trying to continue that hot streak he got from, what, a few days ago, a few episodes ago. And so far, despite him having a little bit of a slump in some of those games, hasn't really deterred his confidence, his aggression, and his preference in play here. But Shower's control has definitely been something on the mind of RRQ. They really don't want to let go of this orb. BREN have been trying to take it as well. There's going to be a lot of conflict here. But that in turn is leaving the opposite orb on B long very, very much open for RRQ. Their ult economy is going to be fantastic. EJ is going to capitalize on the swing. Cannot really find the target in time. And Kelly S with fancy footwork to knock him out of the park.
Yeah, that paint shell's definitely helped as well. So losing EJ a bit hurtful, especially when they committed so much into that hunt or rather sees in the back of the site. It's a double whammy combo, finds absolutely nothing as it's all about what's inside the tube. It was inside you all along. And they're gonna try to flush it out as quickly as they can. Sorry, it was in B side all along. All right, now there's 4 people here from RRQ. BREN's just gonna try to go for the wraparound. Seems like they're hitting the shots, but they're actually able to make it happen. Hot Sauce and Brain Freeze 2 remain, and Nexi all the way through the A site. So now he's gonna go for the slow crawl to even get out of Murder Hole. We'll see if he's gonna get spotted by this. Yeah, just a bit of a throwback to the other game. Because you know when you get through this, it's basically a death sentence, and there it is. Say your last words, say your last rites as Nexi gets sent to the underground? Yeah, the underworld?
To the other side of the plane of existence or non-existence.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you mentioned, Murder Hole, it's either you kill or you get killed. And I'm going to be looking at how this round got dissected. I think Kelly S really did a good job of keeping his composure. And as Ray would like to say, down that chubby crush gear, that very, very full, well-fed crush gear. Never thought of it that way, but you know, my peers, my co-casters, the co-talent, they have a lot to say. Now we are moving on to round number 5. As things might go for a slower turn here, Astra, as it's been pretty up-tempo in the last 3 rounds, and it's been bagging both these teams mixed results. So far in the gun rounds, BREN have been pretty superior, trying to, or at least getting a foothold of the mechanical duels. But RRQ on a stifled bye. Maybe potentially could be another round on the board for BREN.
I do want to ask, I want to just point this out. There's like 2 things that I wanted to mention specifically for these 2 teams. Kelly S and EJ play somewhat of a different, same style actually. And wow, that was a hard read from Savvy, and he just knew where to check, where to peek. And that absolutely opens up this B site. Does get flashed by his own Hot Sauce, but shouldn't matter too much as, again, this is going to be a freebie for them. Rabbit somehow sneaks to the back, but they know where he is. This Rabbit will be flushed out of his hole. And now Kelly S and Nexi 2 remain, pistols in hand. That smoke dissipates. Maybe an opening here, but it's plugged up as soon as. Now they're going to have to face the full wrath of BREN if they try to even challenge this, which they try to do. Good shot on Kelly for the first, but again, BREN secures it in the end. And just to finish off what I was mentioning there, Ralph, I think these 2 teams, aside from maybe teams, you actually have, I think, one thing that other teams do not, which is a mind coach. So, is that the proper term?
A coach, like a mental coach.
Yeah, mental coach. There you go. Thank you. So somebody that helps them get that mental reset. Yeah, so as you can see, they really have been able to utilize that to persevere in these more stressful rounds. Because again, people will say, oh, you know, this team, they're just playing, all that stuff, right? But the pressure, the mental strain, everything, the stakes are so high that they need to keep themselves grounded, and having that support, I think, has been really incredibly helpful for both of RRQ and BREN. So with all of that being said, yeah, you can see the efforts of that coming into right now as they are fighting for this upper semifinals bracket. Whoever does fall down into this will face Oasis Gaming in the lower bracket for the elimination. But for now, you know, they're keeping themselves up high, and we'll see how that goes.
And I'm glad you point that out, that a mental coach and a sports psychologist has been very, very key for a lot of the pro teams. We've seen a lot of the parts of the world do that, and I'm glad our region is slowly catching up to that. I just actually saw this video about if Shaq, for you guys who aren't sports fans and for you guys who've been living under, I don't know, a boulder or rock, Shaquille O'Neal, one of the greatest centers to ever grace the game, considers esports athletes athletes, because it does take a lot, and it's a lot of mental stress. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be the most physical sport, but in fact it is quite physical. You do ruin a lot of your arms and whatever, and
Carpal tunnel,
basically
yeah.
carpal tunnel, so there's quite a bit of strain in that. But anyhow, aside from that, with all respect to all our professionals competing on the field right now, a default has been set in place for BREN, and patience has been the key again. They really don't, or at least it doesn't seem like they're committing to any of the sites. They seem to be hunting for those overcommits, but so far none of that has happened on either side here. Xavi's already made his way towards Hookah, so that's one place or one point of interest that RRQ have to worry about Aserai. They might have a free jump here. Look at this. He's playing for contact.
They can't really just jump in because they know that Draxi does have that Rolling Thunder. He's given away his position, I think, on B Octa. That'll force him back. Savvy fears the aftershock as he expends one of those satchels of his.
30 seconds
It's all about the setup to the A site. Look at these tricky tripwires that Nexi has played installed, but EJ very, very pristine. Make sure that he can just scrub everything clean. Spots out already one, gets spotted by Nexi, who does activate the ultimate quite quickly. And first of all, it's going to be the Nightfall here to get things started. Rolling Thunder to get things even more explosive here for RRQ as they start to scrub the side clean. Symbol is alone. He's going to get full blinded, but still somehow Symbol comes in with the 2K. They do have the lineup with Brain Freeze, but does it matter as Hot Sauce finds Tuge? And BREN able to secure the site by just purely finding where the specific agents of RRQ were.
Do you put hot sauce on Tuge? I feel like
Yes.
that's an interesting combo.
Spike
Yes, in this case, as once again we've seen excellent fragging from all fronts. Really, no one to isolate. I feel like that's an interesting food choice. What a spray down by Symbol there. If I had a Phantom, they would have died.
right there.
Again, it's one of those moments, right, where if I had a Phantom, if I had a Vandal, whatever, it's really weapon of choice here. But now, weapons of choice is not the luxury that RRQ have. They have to settle for these pistols here. Xavi, one thing that you have to consider playing against BREN is you have to stop Xavi from running you over like this. Despite him being excellent in the late round, he loves to go for early plays like this.
Wow.
That's exactly the value he brings when he's succeeding. His duelist is just so much value. But it's two sides of the same coin, really. His fade has also been fantastic. Kelly S, who might run into a fade form of Symbol, and that he does. Gets eliminated. And Xy's the last man alive again, but if he just gets a weapon, that's pretty much a bonus for him. But other than that, EJ's already trained his crosshair towards Burger Hole. It's not looking very likely. Now we have a 5th round on the board for BREN. But yeah, like I mentioned, BREN is the type of team that can't hinge off one player. There were a lot of times when Xavi dies early, when he's not on that duelist role. Again, this was to harp back on his KO, on his fade. Things tend to go south for BREN. Their round win rate drastically goes lower. But when we saw him on fade, when he did stay alive for much, much longer than we would have, or at least the enemy team would have hoped for, then BREN looked super, super impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of BREN looking impressive, Savvy full sends it to the bats. Yeah, it's been a hot day. Gotta go to the bats real quick.
There's the end. Oh,
All right. That tripwire is kind of cheeky. Nobody dashes through on that. Excuse me. I thought they were going to try to just maybe get a catch off, but no, they just try to see what is about to come. You know, the push and prod. Try to get a rile out of RRQ.
remember to hydrate, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah. Stay hydrated,
Yes.
queens and kings.
Hydro homies. As we get back into the match, very serious, we see yet another well-fed Crush Gear. That's never gonna leave me, by the way. The Crush Gear, that's look at it go. But EJ is here, dry peaks for days. So unfortunately for him, that's all he gets. Is Kelly S does not like having other duels occupy his space in the bathroom. I'd imagine that'd be incredibly uncomfortable as this is the objective.
Oh!
And Kelly S though, he does get the showstopper on Symbol. Now that the fade is gone, quite a bit of utility has been removed for potential scrambles. Brain Freeze is trying to fake the plant. And they think it's a bad spot, but no, it's a default plant. Now we see the orbital strike. Is this going to give room for Brain Freeze to plant? Yes, it does. Showstopper comes just to zone out a little bit. He got cancelled again. Oh my goodness, they canceled the plant another time. And Bren, they can't get it down. Hot Sauce has the frag, but no! Kelly S, he gets 4 in the round. An absolute monster, an absolute hero. As he looks to heat up at the start of the game. Super early for him.
Speaking of early, maybe just a bit of early commitments to that Showstopper, as Savvy was very much looking for the pick already. I wonder what stopped Brain Freeze from committing that plant. Maybe a saved aftershock from Draxi might have been that. We could see it here in the highlights. Unfortunately not. But yeah, it was all left up to Hot Sauce to make that happen, but it does get overwhelmed in the end. RRQ, good round in that one. They don't want to allow Bren here even more leeway, especially on the attacking side, to get things started. Savvy immediately just plays inside the smoke, uses the Prowler! And it seems like he's going to be taken down for miles.
Remember, the backpedal is, again, it's faster to walk forward, but sometimes you need that gun out. It is a pretty dangerous place out there. Take this with you. Rabbit gives Savvy a companion in hell with his bullet. EJ, my goodness. The aggression on that operator. Doesn't matter, he still has a classic, but Rabbit sees the barrel stick out of the tailwind, and he gets sent to the other dimension by his Fade counterpart, that is Symbol. And now a 2v3 ensues. The spike is very much close to B. And Nexi has no idea about this, so this potentially is a temporary 2v2 and a very doable one for Bren. There's a lurking fade towards Elbow. And they have no idea he's there. The Nightmares come. And the Nightfall does.
Precision kill.
Wow, and it's still Kelly S being completely deaf, by the way. It takes Hot Sauce down. Still try to zone out, and he's staying alive, much to the irritation of Bren. And next he even finds Symbol holding down Elbow. Once again, they had the good position, but somehow, some way, RRQ, they take it away.
I gotta say, that might have been a misplay for Bren, because you saw the flames be put to Mortar Hole. That was from Brain Freeze. He was probably expecting that maybe that'll help stop Nexi from coming into sight if Nexi was there already, I'm assuming, since they already spotted out one, right? But that actually stopped the lurk from being more successful, I think, from Symbol, mind you, that was still somewhere on Elbow that didn't double back, so he was trying to wrap around, and that Molly kept Kelly S safe for the most part. There, exactly that. I'm not sure if that's honestly the case, because he was taking a very long time from pushing. Maybe he was trying to spot the second player, but yeah, they just could not isolate Kelly S and just beat him where he stands.
It's one of those things where you kind of have to be decisive. The utility was already there. And Nexi deciding that Zavy should not be jumping into U-Haul anymore. EJ gets discovered very quickly, and Nexi with a spray transfer gets Hot Sauce. And Symbol, suddenly this gun round is looking far worse. He gets one, but 10th round on the board. It will go the other way to RRQ.
Great adjustments overall from RRQ here, as they're able to just, again, push back. Loving the... They're just allowing Bren to come in, and they're much more comfortable that way, waiting for it. And they've been calling the fault lines from Raxi a whole lot more than what we saw in the previous couple of rounds, maybe like 3-4 rounds ago. And these more aggressive tripwires from Nexi at least makes it so that they would know where Bren are making their marks towards to get those. Somehow just wants to spray down the utility, but pays with its life in the end. The double up between Rabbit and Nexi, or excuse me, from Draxi, might be good here. If they're using basically everything to get things started. Nexi is already using teleport. And you know, this is where they're actually committing the fight, as the Nightfall makes it so. Makes Rabbit and Draxi's presence known. It's down to the 2 versus 2. I'm wondering if this is truly Brain Freeze's HP, or is it just pseudo HP damage that he took from the utilities? But maybe it is. So EJ is gonna immediately sprint all the way through spawn, because Brain Freeze here, either he plays the crossfire or just runs straight to A short and does a lineup with a molly somehow, or throws out the molly here for spawn as EJ spots out that that contact, which he does. Okay, this is going to burn about a good 10-15 seconds. EJ just needs to play this safe because Draxi is waiting for him. This might be dangerous, especially now that EJ does not have his dash. There it is! Brain Freeze runs out!
running.
5 HP, 1 HP. It's single digits here, Raph, and we just need one more kill, one more bullet.
Oh my
and it's
goodness.
either Rabbit or Brain Freeze to clutch the round. He doesn't
The
know he's gonna
patience.
have to double tap it.
Come
the
on.
patience indeed. Brain Freeze's timing is gonna be close and perfect as he clutches the round for Bren.
Last round in
What
the
an
half.
exchange. What a masterclass by both these players. And Freeze, despite having literally the lowest HP, remains unshaken, remains ice cold, letting everybody know that the clutch does not belong to RRQ. And I was just about to say that they did have the rolling
One
thunder here. I
enemy
feel like it could have been a possible or a much possible retake. In fact, it is pretty close, but I think they might be saving it for half. Another thing that we kind of have to talk about is RQ's defense. It's been succeeding when they're, how would I put this? In a much kinder way. When they're not trying to do too much, the rounds really work in their favor. When Nexi just holds and everybody supports properly, RQ, they succeed. And there's a technical pause here for whatever reason. And now this is going to give us a little bit of time. I think this is a common problem for some teams and I guess all skill levels in general. Well, at least all, what's the word here? Competent skill levels. Sometimes a lot of defensive play comes down to doing nothing. Because when you try to overplay your hand, that's when you're kind of giving free kills to the attacking side. Like, oh yeah, let's make a play, let's make a play, let's constantly make a play. Sometimes it's good to do that to throw off rhythm, but when that becomes your primary source of defense, then it becomes kind of predictable, much like anything else.
Yeah, and Ang was taught this, right? When he was trying to master all 4 elements, the neutral state. Sometimes, as you mentioned, doing nothing is the best thing that you could do.
The rest of the world is walking, and I love Avatar. Technical Pause podcast, here it is. A little bit of a sideshow for our folks here. I think I would love to know which do people prefer, because I remember there was a time in my life where I really did not like Legend of Korra, but then I rewatched it very recently. I think it was last year, and I think I thoroughly enjoyed it. As much as I enjoyed Last Airbender, maybe, but it's definitely up there for me now.
Yeah. But we can both agree that we will never, ever acknowledge that first movie.
What are you talking about? There is no first movie.
Ah, exactly. Netflix is
know what
making a
you're
new
talking about.
series. So, hopes to that. Yeah.
Hopes to that.
That's the first one. But, while we are still on this technical podcast, I think it's because for LOK, right, for Legend of Korra, probably because of the topics that were kind of being talked about, the politics and all of the nitty gritties about the 4 books that was the Legend of Korra overall. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it as well. Like,
It is
but
very good.
for all ages,
I don't
right?
think it hits the mark for all ages. Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's a good
compared
point.
to Legend of Aang,
Atla,
that's the thing.
yeah.
I
I think it's because being a peacetime avatar is so difficult because, like you said, right, there's a lot of room for everything else. And there's a lot of topics about growth and like, cause I remember when I was younger, I was like, man, Korra sucks. She killed the Avatar line or whatever, and now she's it's back to zero, and this sucks.
Is that spoiler? Wait, when was Legend of Korra released? I think it was like
Come on, it's been
2014.
it's almost 10 years, guys. If you haven't
2012.
seen it, you should watch
It's
it.
10
Then
years.
it's 10 years. So if you
Oh
haven't
my
seen it yet,
goodness.
that might be a spoiler, but still, I don't think it should sway you away from, watching it
Yes.
again. There's a lot of avenues to be culturally enriched.
Yeah, and you can never, ever, ever go wrong with how good the animation is. Like,
Oh,
just
yeah,
the
that's
fluidity.
true.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. Again, guys, yes, this is a professional Valorant game in the official circuit. There's still a bit of a technical pause, and we've assumed all we can assume. Honestly, we can keep assuming what's going to happen. Really, it's much, much more fun when we see it unfold.
Oh, I do have like a question. If they release, and this is just being done by observers, if they release kicks that is designed from these
From the agents,
agent shoes, will you cop it?
I would definitely get something along the lines of Chamber, because if Chamber is probably like, Chelsea boots or something, and I love Chelsea boots. But for more casual wear, probably
Jet's
Jets.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
exactly. Jet. The colorway is so
Yeah.
good. It's very neutral.
True. Can we see
who
Jet real
else?
quick? If the observers can hear us, can we request that?
They're like, good God, Asura has so many requests. I feel like
Aw,
a
I'm
fade line would
sorry.
be cool too, because it's a gradient, you know?
That's true. Actually, the fade's right there. Maybe you can see her shoes.
I feel like everybody's shoes are cool.
True. Oh, okay. A bit too fast. Wait. Turning around. Oh, okay.
That is a beard. That is not a shoe, guys. I know it's very difficult to find the difference.
To wear
find the
one.
difference.
To wear a beard. Whoa, the Brimstone's eyes are just darting elsewhere. He's so
He's so
keen on
intense.
his observation. Yeah, exactly.
Smokes down, you know?
Can I do that? I'm not a young man anymore. Wait, wrong game.
What are we doing? Well, we have a cipher. What does cipher say again? It's morbid.
It's more.
Oh my goodness, guys. Hello. Thank you for the patience, by the way. League of
Oh, there it is.
Officers-
There it is.
Oh, yeah. See, exactly. I
Ooh.
would cop
Okay.
them Jet shoes. You know what I mean? That's very sleek.
Yeah.
I feel like if she had
Mhm.
like Air Force Ones, just her colorway. I think it's been done before, but just like
Yeah.
a Valorant Air
Ooh.
Force One, I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
I was gonna ask that now since you put out Air Force Ones. Is that right? Yeah. So Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse, Nikes or PlayStation Spider-Man Miles Morales Adidas, the black and red ones.
That's a difficult question because I'm not too impartial
Really?
about both. No, okay, no. Here's the thing,
Okay,
right?
you've seen both though, right?
Let me.
Okay.
Hang on. Let's see.
He's probably googling it right now.
Okay. I think maybe Nike's got the dub on this one. I think
Yeah.
the Nike's got the dub on this one. I mean, I
100%.
love red and black, but at the same time, I think Nike's got the dub on this one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They both
guys,
look
like I
good
said-
though, but I just really like the
Oh yeah,
high
the form
ones.
factor. Yeah, the high cut.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
too much of a fan of high cuts actually. I feel like, okay, so high cuts are supposed to protect your ankles when you're playing, but when it's just casual wear, it's really annoying. I don't
That's
even wear
true.
high cuts when I used to play for. Yeah. Anywho, guys, thank you for the patience, for bearing with us. For we'd just like to thank everybody who in the back end making this as smooth of an experience as possible. Because there's a good reason why we have technical pause, obviously. It's not like they just throw that out there. But anyway, back on whatever topic we had under the sun. I feel like this is the perfect moment to...
Two.
That is such a timely spray. Please
Aw.
be patient. No! No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Raph doesn't like anime.
Look what you've done. You scared it away.
Oh, I think we're back. There you go. All right. We fixed everything. We've thoroughly annoyed the audience. Perfect. And in 10 seconds, we'll see if it's a 6-6 or 7-5. It's so simple. It's that easy.
It's so easy. To quote. Round number 12 is at hand. It might unfold before our very eyes. Like I said, shower control. I would say a pretty ancient strat, but still a very effective one. The Rolling Thunder is going to leave Kelly, yes, and the rest of the RRQ boys out to dry. But look at this. They're taking the fight to them. Rabbit takes the teleporter. And falls as Zabby gets Nexi. And everybody's here. I mean everybody. 3v2 now. The spike
Last
not
player standing.
anywhere convenient for Bren as Brain Freeze, who was the hero of the last round, is getting prowled on, is getting hit by absolutely everything. And he has to run out. Oh my goodness, look at that movement though. The movement saves him. Puts the smoke down. Tries to go for a bit of a bait play here. Potentially could go into showers, get a massive flank, kill everybody. But he knows that they know that. So the no mix-up is in place here. The question is the timing. Now Draxi, he's anticipating. Like I said, he's waiting for that to come. Right, look at Rabbit. Very, very patient, Astray. Brain Freeze could potentially find him when the smoke does dissipate.
30
But
seconds
that's going
left.
to be an extra 5 seconds. Oh, never
So
mind.
close.
Well, that was a really good punish from RRQ, though.
Switching sides.
again, it's kind of the same ideology when you try to push through hookah and there's a Raze waiting at A main teleporter, right? Or A short teleporter. You can get thrown a nade, and in this case, you get thrown the whole enchilada, which is the Rolling Thunder and basically everything that is available for RRQ, and it just messed up BREN so much. They were able to back away just a tiny bit, but you saw how much RRQ were already seeing that BREN was struggling to get out of that position, and they pressed on and they got themselves a solid round.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't touch Crazy Steve's enchilada. It will bring you bad fortune. As RRQ and BREN, they do have this tied up, so this next half, it's still going to be a bit of a reset. Hitting that neutral ground, that neutral state. As the halftime pauses here. Everybody on BREN does have a fairly equal frag distribution. But RRQ, they've been handling that onslaught, that double duelist setup very, very well. I'm not sure how this is going to bode for them now that they're on the defensive side. Although Raze, like you mentioned, is very good on this map. This combo has been tried and tested many times. And this could come down as a comfort pick for BREN, which has been, you know, it's been working. It's 6-6.
True. This just means that they have to be a lot more proactive on the defense, right? Because I don't really assume that they're going to play this retake style. It will feel that the post-plan setup just might feel a lot stronger for RRQ, or if they don't play it as proactive, at least a lot more lurks, I guess. But there's a lot to say about this. Once the gun round comes, we'll see how that interaction goes. But Pistol still very much up into the air. Yeah. This is still going to be a toss-up, at least for now. But you can already see the setup for BREN. It's the double swing outside of hookah. What's the set strat here? Throw nade from Savvy, or they're just going to wait inside and then just cut them to pieces as they start to go in? What's the buy, or what's the weapon purchase for EJ and Savvy? It's both ghosts. And they're going to be up against about 3-4 members of RRQ that might be checking this one. Savvy is holding, gets spotted, tries to challenge, but he's committed even more this fraction of a second, and he gets immediately botched from hookah here, forcing EJ and Hot Sauce to just concede the angle already. And as they peek through B main, there's the Prowler. He bumps into his own teammate. This is not good. Hot Sauce is by his lonesome. Once already onto the side, and Kelly S rips it wide open.
And like you said, the defense is getting stretched out pretty thin here for BREN. An unhealthy amount of RRQ has made themselves at home on this B site. BREN.
One enemy remaining.
Not many people, but we know how lethal these pistols are. RRQ, they definitely understand the capability and the power of this. Sybil has to run away. Really no point in trying to save here. Tuga does find him in the very end. I just realized, Asarai, that since BREN doesn't have a Sentinel, they're not really going to have a hard stop, or at least a buffer for them to realign. So if they get overrun, then they're going to get overrun.
That's probably why they wanted to really commit that peak from Savvy. Of course, it was very close for him, but again, you saw RRQ's set strat there, trap, is if Savvy commits, right, and if he gets the kill on Kelly, yes, he will not be able to escape because the fault line was there to punish him. So whatever happened, but Savvy definitely needed to get that one pick off, and you saw how just easily BREN's defense just crumbled there. The use on the Prowler and B long as they try to take a little bit more map control, and he just got easily dismantled here. Now BREN, no force buys. Maybe just that one from EJ with the shorty, but it's all the way onto the A side, and already RRQ. Mad scramble. So with EJ here, but Savvy's onto the corner. I don't think he was spotted, but he's popping a lot of shots through the smoke, and now he gets hello. EJ, as he tries to be cheeky again, that distance from the weapon shortened with the shorty. No chance in heck that he's going to be able to sneak by and get that free kill that he was hoping for.
I hope the positioning is not going to be like this when the actual gun round happens, because they really don't have a way of backing up Zavy. Again, that's a lot of faith and a lot of trust towards Zavy, which is fair, but you're supposed to trust your teammates. But Again, on paper, right? On paper, since they don't have that sentinel that stops Xavi from getting overrun like this, it's a little suspicious that BREN are playing, or at least putting their players where they are. Maybe if they had a little more forward support from Elbow, or if Hot Sauce was there just a little bit earlier, then that could have worked out. If the flash came and whatnot, but I understand why they wouldn't want to do that. They didn't really have the weapons, but now maybe we're going to see that full utility come to fruition. A default take yet again on B Long. They go for that anti-flash temporary Astra smoke, but so far none has been thrown. I think Hot Sauce got the read on that fake flash is going to spot out the backline, but Kelly S was fully aware, fully engrossed with this 2020 vision. And it looks like Brain Freeze is on site duty this time around. The smokes are gonna come. Everybody's gonna run into Hot Sauce. How long can he hold the line is the question. It's actually Brain Freeze ball first. Hot Sauce gets 2. He's good for 2. Duge with 2 to his name and 2 on his name gets the spike down. And now the scythe has fallen into the hands of RRQ again. Look how scattered BREN are. They are going to be attacking from all 3 sides. They're not going to have the most support, so they have to time this perfectly. EJ gets Duge. He opens it up, makes this very, very possible, but now they have to collapse. They have to use these numbers while they can, and Xavi and EJ, the duelist duo, clean up RRQ. They stumble, and the round has been taken away by BREN.
Not overly expensive for BREN, mind you, as Hot Sauce makes that endeavor. I'm not sure if I'm seeing the audience is seeing a little bit of hiccups on my.
I'm not entirely sure if you're seeing the exact same thing. Yeah, you guys can see the replay fine. Then amazing.
1 enemy remaining.
Yeah.
And no, I think as we are on round 16 here, an aggressive take towards short. So I think I take a guess here. BREN hold on to shower still valiantly as well as they can. They will hit the C's and the pain shell on a few players. Actually, no, none of them gets hit at all. And we have a little bit of a take-up potentially happening after you see the anti-flag being committed on one side of the map and a little bit of a gunfight ensuing.
All right. We're just gonna march on in and basically get everything handed for RRQ here. BREN, what's the setup right now for them? Can they even play the retake? Look at how just far back EJ is. He's waiting for somebody to check maybe the tripwire, but no one's there, and he's taking a very long time. So this is turned into a 2 versus 5 in a way. And Brain Freeze and teammate, that's going to be Hot Sauce, might be looking to actually challenge something. Kelly S is about to go for the swing, waiting mayhaps, but there's no real need for him to do that. No time for the defuse as well. This offense from RRQ, incredibly solid. Is Brain Freeze really going to go through the TV here? Gets spotted, tries to look right behind him, but they were so prepared for the cheekiness, for the sneakiness of BREN and RRQ starting to build up a bit of a lead.
This defense, it's a little, struggling a little bit. It's mighty struggling. As this pause, I would only assume it's going to come from the BREN side. Something has to change with their defensive rotations. They try to be aggressive towards B long. The presence was all towards A. They have to make a hard read here, and this is definitely the problem, the con of not having a sentinel. Just really having that reliable kit to just kind of leave alone. You know, the independence to hold a site.
So again, we fall back to the same question that we had when they had the pistol purchase, right? What do BREN need to do to adjust with this particular comp that doesn't feel that it has a ground to stand on, right? Because they don't have a sentinel. It's all about free movement from BREN here. But when are they against RRQ that basically have a gravity well, a fault line, nades being thrown out, and then for the flank they have these tripwires. Where does BREN even try to actually do that free movement of theirs? right? It feels like they have to just 3-peek something every time and hope that maybe they can get 1-2 frags without taking too much damage of their own.
I think we saw this type of comp, obviously without Fade in APAC. I think it was Boom who tried to run this, and I think they lost to Onyx on Bind. They tried to go for a double innie, but I really don't think this is the place for a Sentinel, or rather a composition without a Sentinel. You just kind of need that hard stopper because it's such a tiny map. It's really just a few steps away from everything. Now RRQ, they put their grubby mitts all over Shower. I don't think that'd be sanitary, but they do have orb control, so their ultimate is gonna look far more their ultimate economy is gonna look far more impressive than Bren. Bren, now they go for that passive take. They have Brain Freeze, I think, playing bench. So assuming that Symbol's gonna play off that contact, that Prowler is gonna find him. Mahant is gonna come his way. The spooky balloon does get denied. Rabbit, I don't think they know. He nearly gets 2, but is only unfortunately enough to find 1. That's right, my goodness, the guns are pretty much even at this point now. As the showstopper doesn't hit anything, and Kelly S, surprised, he's gonna reaggress, but no, he does find a little bit of solace behind this cosmic divide. They have to explode at the same time, but little do they know there's already a firing squad waiting on all possible angles. I love this wall. I think this is one of the best walls for the anti-retake. The flash is there. They all line up, and they get shot down. The shooting gallery was open for RRQ.
Grenade!
And they were so ready on that aggressive peak. What? I have to ask, what's the timer on the wall? Maybe a good 10-15 seconds, right? Again?
Something like that.
Could they have at least gone the direction of just waiting for the wall to drop down rather than for the flash? Because, again, with this one, even if they do get that one, it's not instantaneous again with that Sky Flash. And everybody was so prepared that they could just hide behind the wall. If the Sky Flash did pop, that would just mean to Brennan, oh, we flashed like maybe one person. And nobody was actually flashed because they were hiding all behind. And that specific angle for who was it? For RRQ was so that I would have fooled Bren. So, yeah, too bad, so sad.
It is a mighty long 21 seconds, that's right. So maybe if they did hold out just a little bit longer, the gunfight would have made their timing for the defuse that much more difficult. Now the defense is on a much more active play, a motion play from Bren. They take control of market. But the entire A side has been overrun yet again by RRQ, who have been far more impressive on this attack. Now, Kelly S can't find the first shot. This eco's not going to go down too well for Bren. Symbol's the last one alive. And him and his trusty 6-shooter, we trust his aim. RRQ, they are as sharp as a nail, and now they look to overrun as they take this 11th round.
And Bren's chances are dwindling more and more. They've committed to the double innie, the double duelist, but somehow they can't just double down and being able to find the rounds in the second half. A tough resort here. I mean, there's only 4 rounds separating them, right? But RRQ very close to that finish line. Almost able to cross it. 2 more rounds is what they need to go. This might be the final hope for Bren. If they can't get this, they might not have enough money for that next round. There's a lot that RRQ can bring to the table. Again, the showstopper, excuse me, not the showstopper, but the Rolling Thunder is available for Draxi here. A misstep could be what makes or breaks it for Bren. The smoke dissipates. Brain Freeze is making a lot of noise here. This double checks onto bats. Tuge hoping that somebody gets a little bit cheeky. This Brain Freeze makes a lot more noise here. That'll just give more information for RRQ that the Brimstone is here, but they're not going to be fearing that. I think they're prepping up a short for the moment, trying to see if the camera will spot out a key member. And again, EJ hasn't had any chance to do anything because he doesn't know that nobody's holding his lurk. It's just the tripwires there. And here's the committance again on the ultimate, charging it on through. Helios just deep dives onto Shower. And look at the pinch happening here. But somehow maybe Brent can fight. Yes, Savvy and Brain Freeze make a case. It's a good one. And they're saying, Your Honor, we're here to judge the opposition. We're here to judge the offense. and it is not good, at least for now. But still, RRQ hold the advantage.
That they do, convincingly, in fact. BREN, they stay alive. They give themselves a little more room to work here. And the swing is still very much doable. But look at this. Just looking at the individual performances, Kelly S is a man on a mission. He knows that all he has to do is take as much space. And without the Sentinel, it's that much easier. I think personally, if BREN wanted to run a no Sentinel comp, maybe it would have been better if they had an Astra or a Viper who are pseudo Sentinels in their own right. But again, hindsight is 2020.
Last player.
They really could not have the explosiveness on this defense. Now yet again, we go on a technical pause, Asarai.
Ah, yes. Here it is again. Well, yeah. I was gonna say just a quick little recap here. It's still definitely not over for BREN, but I think that was just an anomaly of a round because of how well Savvy and Brain Freeze were not flushed out of bats, right? So what happens if the offense is gonna be on B? Right? There is a lot more scarier things that you have to be afraid of when it's the B push, because backside, you basically get thrown a nade, a gravity well somewhere, the follow-up on the C's. Just looking at the skills alone, it is going to be incredibly scary. So thankfully, we don't have to wait too long to see what happens. I am curious how this throw for simple... Does this actually have a lineup? I think he probably has a lineup, right? There it is. He's going to throw it out. It is going to pop out right on top, and it actually spots a good chunk of the members here of RRQ. Brain Freeze immediately committing the molly very early on, and RRQ is going to take mind of that.
Yet another innocuous period in time, as the defaults they have once again reared their heads here. BREN, they don't really want to overstep, and RRQ, they don't want to accidentally throw a good lead. Considering that if they lose this round, actually they still have a decent buy. It's BREN who are on a bit of a tightrope here, as Shower's control has been really the name of the game for both these teams. The orb has not been taken by anyone, but Brain Freeze, he will march forward, relaying much needed information to his team. But the timing is in fact not working out for Tuge. With a lone defender on Showers gone, Rabbit has the leeway to really just kind of assert his dominance here. But there's nobody there to assert too, as most of RRQ, they've ganged up, they've coagulated here towards short.
No!
Wow, even stunned up. Kelly S is absolutely magnificent, hitting him with the magic trick there, the hat trick. And now U-Haul seems to be pretty occupied. Kelly S has no way of healing up, but Draxi, I got you, he says. Finding Zavi, and now EJ all on his lonesome on this side of the map as his teammate, Hot Sauce, who is still trying to rotate here. The dog is going to come trying to pull attention, but they know where one is. He's only good for one. Rabbit has a crossfire, and now patience is all RRQ need. They've been routing, they've been practicing, and they've looked super refined. EJ, we've seen them pull some stuff. I don't think this is one of them. Oh, time is winding down, and this is pretty much it. He gets two, though! Could potentially get the third, but no! Rabbit, who has become a predatory animal. Finishing EJ off, and now it is at the cusp of match point, or at least taking this map away from BREN.
I don't think EJ would have had enough time, even if he got that third shot off of Rabbit, to actually defuse the spike, despite the possibility of that clutch. And he used... I don't think he was actually spotted by the camera, and he broke that so quickly too. Plus, he expended the dash so early, as well as the Cloudburst, because he was expecting that he was going to find at least one player, maybe even two of RRQ, to get things started, which is, granted, not a bad idea, but because of that, he didn't have anything else to play against in that 3 versus 1, so it's all down to just the raw aim for EJ. He's almost always good for it, but there's just that certain times that might just falter just a teeny tiny bit, and we do see it there. 4 steps for BREN, 1 more for RRQ. And we'll see how they do about this. I was worried that they might not have enough money, but somehow they're still able to wrangle up even an operator for EJ. So this could be something, but this is definitely a Hail Mary pass. You do not want EJ to have an op in bind. It feels incredibly risky, especially about this explosive shock and awe combo that RRQ have kind of set up.
I'm surprised they didn't go for the op sooner, or they didn't try to set up the op sooner. Kelly's might have
No
a
way.
field day again. The showstopper is here. EJ's been accurate, but no. The rocket prevails. It's not precision. It's a sledgehammer, and Brain Freeze brings it down on RRQ.
One enemy
Reducing their numbers to absolutely nothing, and Brain Freeze
30
comes up
seconds
huge. Thug is the last one alive, and Symbol will even cut him down where he stands. And BREN, they stay alive for yet another round, yet another go at overtime.
Can I get a drop?
Now, you just know right now that BREN, they are coming at this with heroic plays after heroic plays. Look at that, I was very worried again for EJ there, was not able to make it happen, but this
Spike down.
so controlled from Brain Freeze.
30 seconds
Incredible. I don't even say, I'm even gonna not call it now. He's not underrated. He is just rated. The rated R. Oh wait. Superstar.
Well, actually,
Somehow.
I feel like that's fitting. I feel like that's fitting from, everything that's happened. And
Oh, true.
my goodness, he is wearing that title so well. Because, again, Freeze, sometimes he might not have the biggest games in terms of numbers, but you know he's going to leave his mark no matter what happens. And he is ready to spear the competition. Maybe even bring the Brood with him. This is definitely the time he has to. He has to bring it, or at least elevate his team. RRQ, they do get that timeout, and they're going to have some choice words for whatever has happened. And EJ, despite not finding the value in the operator in the previous round, they go for it anyway. Hopefully the script will change for them, and the fates will smile upon this squad in black and yellow, which is BREN, don't be confused.
Well, I mean, if it was black and blue, I would have been very confused. But thankfully, he said yellow. We're fine. Whoa! That's cool. It's like a double rainbow.
Double rainbow. Oh my goodness. We are going back to that. As no matter how intense the match gets, the double rainbow will always be present. And now we are going to have a bit of a trip with Kelly S here, who's been an outstanding performer, Aster. I believe he is up to, 32, 33 kills now? 30 even, minimum.
Yeah? Not bad. He's been getting the one-up from Savvy ever since, right? Because Savvy has just adamantly defended U-Haul by his lonesome. And it's a valiant effort, but Kelly S has gotten the better of him more times than not. Brain Freeze has spotted how the whole kit and caboodle, the RRQ roster, they can always back away to TP, which is good. But they're actually going to commit the fight outside of U-Haul. Spots out basically nobody. Rabbit backs away. Everybody's freaking out a little bit here, but it's all about that controlled play. They have not cleared out the showers. And there it is. The drawback. Hot Sauce misses the shot, and he'll allow the rest of RRQ to reign rampant onto the B site. 1-for-1 in terms of the trades. He will allow Draxi to pick up a Vandal here, and that might not be the best of decisions. He will be able to counter at least the plant with the orbital. It will still have some time, but this will at least incapacitate one of the players as soon as he is planting in! The Brain Freeze just get the shot through the wall! Wrath! He might have made it happen! No, not yet! They're gonna have to play the retake here! 3 versus 3!
Barely.
It's not yet over! Barely indeed! Savvy holding outside of elbow. He's about to hit him, but his teammates are incredibly low. He's gotta have to make this happen right here, right now. Savvy ignites the fight. There it is, coming through. Savvy! Kelly S comes in for almost the clutch. He's able to isolate, but Savvy gets the 3K. The time for the defuse, more than enough. And they keep the dream alive for the first game.
BREN once again. They're believing and they're surviving is what's important. 10-12 now. This is anybody's game at this point, considering that this is a force, or at least another buy on RRQ. This is going to be their last one of regulation. If they drop this, EJ still holding on to that operator. The fact that he has it, it's enough to deter RRQ from taking some specific angles. Like you said, Aster, this is pretty much do or die for map 1. Round 23. Do we see a change in a defensive rotation? No. Xavi might consider being a little more passive here. It has not bode well for him trying to fight for Hookah. And here's that bot. The bots are going to meet. And they're going to have a little bit of the Doom Roomba dance. Both eliminated from contention. Kelly S tried to crawl from Hookah. And a little bit of an exchange of fire here. Just blind fire. Trying to do unconfirmed damage to each other. But that's a lot of utility being thrown out. And I believe that I think this utility shuffle is going in the way of RRQ. We still have the stars, a full set of Astra stars, I believe. And now we have the Rolling Thunder coming out. That's going to tag up anybody who's holding towards Murder Hole. But Kelly S finds Xavi a crucial whiff. Despite winning that previous round, could it be a potential overheat? But look at that. The C's nearly gets one. The Molly does tickle Rabbit a little bit. The Nightmare comes. And Hot Sauce, he has to make a choice, has to make a mad dash. And he is getting harassed by all this utility. But this could be the hallway of death. The red lightsaber comes, but no. Simba holds on. He denies Rabbit of any position. And BREN, they move forward. Given a little bit of space, but look at all this utility that they have to wade through. Brain Freeze and Hot Sauce are the heroes. But Nexi gets found, gets swung on. And BREN, they've secured an 11th round for themselves.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, hello. Okay. Oh, okay. You know what? I do not have the cojones to be able to defuse, to swap the defuse like that, but BREN do. They have absolutely
The spike is here.
Clear-cut, clear-water idea of how many seconds was left on that spike. But I will say, though, you talked about how Savvy might have overheated, which I definitely do agree, but there also was some moments of overheating there from RRQ themselves. I think Rabbit just overextended a little bit to the elbow and got a bit overwhelmed. I mean, to be fair, he did get the support from the fault line of Draxi, which made him incredibly confident, but just a little bit too much deep into, as I said, the death pit, the death halls of elbow. And that definitely gave BREN a lot more security on their own end to start pushing in and trading in for that round victory.
It's not something you want to do as a Fade either. We've talked about how Fade is amazing in the backline. The longer she stays alive, much like all of our other supportive roles in the game, just find so much value. But once again, sometimes it's good to go against the grain, and if the play goes well, then it could snowball to potentially a map-winning situation. But that was not meant to be, as now Rabbit has to settle for a Bulldog. Draxi as well, a similar story. Nexi, and all these players, including Tuge, have to carry lighter armor here. It's really only Kelly S who has a full shields, a proper rifle, and has, I believe he has the showstopper. Yes, he does. And that being said, Astra, this ult economy is really going in the way of BREN now. They have Seekers, so once again, I don't think they want to overplay this. They have every single thing to work out for them. Absolutely. He spots the arm. Hello, Rabbit! And he has been hunted down. Oh my goodness.
Well, I guess he can't write no more.
No, because he's dead. He lost his arm. He died.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, EJ repositions for B long, but there's about 2-3 people waiting on the swing, but it's Hot Sauce first on the first contact. EJ whips out the blades, but somehow Kelly S gets into the site. Tuge finds another one. And they might have actually dismantled his defense. Hold on. Symbol is still here. Anchoring at the site. Tuge! He finds a pixel angle. And now BREN might have overreached. Kelly S is still playing here. I'm not sure if the Boombot will actually spot him. He's smartly just backing away. Savvy had a good day in a long while. He spots out Kelly S already, but he's really prone to overcommitting to these. He does have Brain Freeze. Cool, calm, and collected. 20 seconds, can always TP in. He's used the molly. He knows that they're still here onto the site. And he will plant for default first. Double up. Kelly S denies it. The nade up once again. Brain Freeze gonna get swung very easily here. They're about to go in against him.
And
Attackers
RRQ dismantle the defense for the first game win. What a round from Tuga and Kelly S.
What a round indeed.